Welcome back to Ayuko TV. Yama obi akwaba edeba ene day jumadi so say ene da poti awode ba yama wa kwaba so ko edeba Ayuko TV. Esan say ensempa fie ene ha eyamo ankasa mo sonfo very good ena matan se de akode ba ena me bi ebedum na yebo ewram dia na chese eye IMF ena finally omodi insembi abetuja esanse nansen omo ekohia eye ye mampeni John Dramani Mahama ena chese ni ministers ni bi na enkomo twetwe bi ekoso ena ene dey omo asamba edi insembi abetuja kame ho na chese yemo enwa ensem na adwenche bi awon wejane ewo ye comment section ni ase edi
country manager of the International Finance Corporation for visiting us in Parliament. I recall that about a week ago we had met you when we embarked on some visits to garment factories here in Accra, and we had initiated some discussions with you and the Minister for Trade and Industry in relation to how to expand our garment sector, subsector, and you expressed an interest to come to Parliament and meet with us, and I got the indication that you wanted to come today, and so I invited a few of my colleagues to join us so that we can receive you, we can hear from you, and have some discussions and see in what ways as a caucus we can work with you and the cooperation in terms of your work in Ghana. So you're welcome.
And so we are here to support the private sector, invest in the private sector, mobilize private sector, both international and local, and to help create more and better jobs. And what you saw last week at the garmenting factory was an example of Ghana's increased ability to take advantage of industrialization to create more and better jobs, and in garmenting in particular for women. This isn't limited to just garmenting. It can also be agro-processing, other forms of industry, but we're of the view there's an increased opportunity, and as a result we've been supporting more. Last year we financed approximately $450 million for companies in Ghana. This year we're targeting approximately 500 to 600 million in Ghana, and whether it's in things like the industrial zones directly or industries or factories operating within these zones, or agro-processors operating throughout the country, helping to create more and better jobs. So we thought it would be useful for us to meet and discuss and to learn more of your interests and your plans, and see if there's an opportunity for us to support your plans to help create more and better jobs in Ghana. Thank you.
Exactly why I tried to bring together the regional caucus leaders so that they will have an opportunity to hear firsthand from you the kind of investments that you support. As you indicated, last year you brought in about $450 million United States dollars, and this year your target is $600 million dollars. And so I was hoping that the various regional caucus leaders would be here, listen to you, have a sense of which subsectors the focus is, how they can guide their constituents to be able to access the investments that the funding that you have, because clearly a government will be constrained in terms of the financing of a lot of the commitments that we have made, and so increasingly we need to be looking at sources like yours and then working with the private sector to be able to create jobs and grow the economy, and parliamentarians should be in the forefront of linking industries to funding sources, and also trying to shape policy that will enable the development of industry. Indeed, what we saw at the garment factories in Accra, the number of young people who are employed there, the quality of products that are manufactured here in Ghana, it will amaze you that a lot of the things that you are buying in shops in New York and in London and Brussels and other places are actually made here in Accra, except that you don't know they are made in Accra. And I was quite impressed that there's been that improvement in the quality of work at our garment factories, but it still remains very small, and there's a huge potential. And so I'm hoping that the parliamentarians who are here, will engage with you in terms of their various constituencies, what industries are there, and if the private sector players in our various constituencies can be mobilized to begin to prepare themselves and position themselves to be able to access financing from IFC and others. I think that would definitely go a long way to help us fulfill our commitment to the young people to create jobs, to grow the economy, and then to create more wealth for us to equitably distribute. So I'm happy that you are here. I will have some discussions, and if possible, we can structure a bigger presentation to the entire caucus. I think that the more parliamentarians know about what work you are doing, how you are doing it, and how their constituents can access financing from you, it would help us as members of parliament. And that is why I want us to build this relationship with your office, so that we can always come there, you can always come here, and then we can also always bring our private sector players to your office, and then they can learn more about how you finance and then try and then position themselves to be able to access.
Mr. Speaker, first is the decision of the Minister for Communication and Digital Technology, Honorable Sam Nete-Joy. Mr. Speaker, on the 18th of February, it is reported from the Media Secretariat of the Ministry that he directed the closure of 7 radio stations, and this was with immediate effect. Mr. Speaker, in my view, the National Media Commission is the body responsible for making certain determinations and making recommendations as to the conduct of some of these frequencies, radio stations in our country. I find it very strange that the minister would issue such a directive. I will therefore, Mr. Speaker, based on these concerns, pray that the leader of government business indulges the House to invite the minister to come and brief the House on what resulted in his actions. Mr. Speaker, he is answerable to this House and not only to the president that appointed